And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Outside water coastal forecast here for the south coast, southwesterlies 20 to 25 knots for Sunday. Small craft advisories for south to southeast winds at 30 knots for the central coast, and south to east winds 20 to 25 for the north coast. Lynn Canal, pretty windy conditions there. Small craft advisories both for Lynn Canal and Stevens Passage. South winds 25 knots sustained, and south at 20 for Clarence Strait. And then for Clarence Strait on Monday, northwest at 15, south winds 10 knots for Stevens Passage, south at 15 for Lynn Canal. And then along the south coast here, west to southwest winds at 15 knots and southwest to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots on the north side. Prince William Sound, east wind 15 knots for Sunday. Variable winds, northern Cook Inlet at 10 knots, but southwest at 20 for southern Cook Inlet, and west winds at 30 knots for Kamishak Bay and the Barren Islands, and northwest winds at 15 for the western North Gulf Coast. East northeasterlies at 20 to 25 knots for the eastern North Gulf Coast. And for Monday, eastern North Gulf Coast, southwest or southeast at 15 knots, west 15 here for the west side, east at 10 for Prince William Sound. Light west to northwest breeze at 10 knots for Cook Inlet, and west to southwest winds at 20 for Kamishak Bay and the Barren Islands. Kodiak Island tomorrow, small craft advisories, west winds 25 knots. Same forecast there for Bristol Bay, and west northwest 15 to 20 knots for the peninsula. And then for the Alaska Peninsula on Monday, we've got west southwest winds, or in some cases even south winds at 15 to 20 knots. West at 20 for Bristol Bay, and west-southwest at 20 knots across Kodiak Island. And for the eastern Aleutians, variable winds 10 to 15 knots tomorrow. Southwest 15 here for Adak and Atka. Western Aleutians, west or southwest winds, excuse me, at 20 to 25 knots. And for Monday, for the western Aleutians, got some gale warnings going here for south winds 30 to 40 knots, south at 40 for the central Aleutians, and south at 35 knots in toward Nikolsky. Boy, excuse me. And for Unalaska Island, south winds 25 knots. Here for the southwest coast tomorrow, west-northwest winds of 15 knots. West winds at 20 for Norton Sound and the St. Lawrence Island area, variable at 10 for the Pribilofs, and southwest 15 for St. Matthew Island. And for Monday, east winds increasing to 25 knots for St. Matthew Island, south at 20 for the Pribilofs. Small craft advisories here for the southwest coast, southwest at 25 knots, with southwest wind at 10 knots for the Yukon Delta, St. Lawrence Island, 15 knots for Norton Sound. And we've got brisk wind advisories for the eastern Beaufort Sea coast. In fact, the central and east side here, east-northeast tomorrow at 25 knots, northeast at 20 for the western coast, and for the Chukchi Sea, north to northwest wind at 15 knots. Then for Monday, we've got southeast winds 15 to 25 knots for the Chukchi Sea, southwest at 15 for the western Arctic coast, and light winds here, light variable winds, 5 to 10 knots for the central and eastern Beaufort Sea coasts.